Cronkite Ward could not do all of the things we do without this, and I gather that's what you people are interested in, is how we use these computers.
ThinkPad with the 4X CD-ROM drive in it running full motion video. And we said, this is a wonderful opportunity to put a presentation in a box for our field salespeople.
We want to beat competition by focusing on being the most sophisticated company with the best and state-of-the-art solutions. So we used IBM Thinkpad almost from day one.
The best construction superintendent may be in Chicago. The training manager and he can then couple up via laptop through the network to our developers, develop a course, send it back and say, what do you think about this? That all happens in real time.
If I was doing a presentation where to people who don't have a ThinkPad, they're very impressed with the technology of the presentation because it is very simple and easy to use. What you can produce is very, very professional.
Because we're on the cutting edge, we needed an instrument that is a ThinkPad that will allow us to continue to showcase what we've done.
I would consider the ThinkPad the Ferrari of the computer industry. It's fast, it responds very well, it does essentially what you want it to do.
When I'm using the multimedia, we have our latest advertising campaign on the ThinkPad, and we're able to run that for our customers so they can see exactly what sort of products we're coming up with.
It told me I had to paginate. I wanted, quite frankly, I thought I ought to see my minister before I did that.
You really have a winning combination of cost, performance, quality, and reliability. And that's really what we're setting out to do, so that we can deliver to the customer exactly the best combination of these attributes.
Boy, you really did it. You really gave us a very quality product that's got some enduring capability to it over the next several years. One of the interesting things that happened when we went to this next generation product with the ThinkPad was that we got a lot of comments back from our people in the field. Boy, you really did it. You really gave us a very quality product that's got some enduring capability to it over the next several years.
When we buy the parts that we want to include in our products, we are fortunate to have access to the best of the IBM company's technology. For example, Storage Systems Division provides us with extremely competitive technology in the form of the hard files that we include in our mobile products, and so we do that. But we're also looking actively at the marketplace in general, and where there's competitive technology out there, we will incorporate that too. Whatever gives us the best balance that we can incorporate into customer value, that's what we attempt to do. Now, if you take that dual approach to procurement, sourcing inside and outside appropriately, and add to it the extremely rigorous testing that we put our products through at the part level and at the system level, then you really have a winning combination of cost, performance, quality, and reliability. And that's really what we're setting out to do, so that we can deliver to the customer exactly the best combination of these attributes.
There's enough noise in the world. We don't need a noisy computer. So our goal is to get the quietest computer out there to the customer. This is the acoustical lab. Any noise that's being made in that computer, we'll find it. We want the customer to be as happy as possible. We want our machines to be as dependable as possible and quiet as possible.
The testing we do in the lab here is to simulate real-world transportation and handling conditions, including packaging integrity. We go beyond that by simulating conditions under which the customer would use the equipment after they've thrown away the packaging materials.
I travel a lot for Goodyear and take the ThinkPad everywhere I go. And that involves, on the airplanes especially, putting it in the overhead bin, taking it out, putting it under the seat, running through airports, and the durability has been outstanding. There's been absolutely no problems, and extremely satisfied.
For example, if you were flying in the middle of winter, you would have just brought your machine off the airplane where it would have experienced some altitude variation. Probably throw it in the back seat of your rental car where it may be dropped. You drive down the road, hitting potholes, you get some vibration. You'd also be experiencing some humidity changes in the process as well, for which we test. From that point, you would take it from possibly extremely cold temperatures into your office environment where it's room temperature, try to power it up, and expect it to come up every time. That's the reason we run the test.
From a personal point of view, the time I spend preparing and waiting for other computers to actually deliver me certain bits of information has been reduced dramatically, because the ThinkPad is very reliable. It's a single source of data for me.
As we looked at the next generations of laptops coming along, they were very robust. CD drive technology. The IBM machine was just coming on board, the ThinkPad with the 4X CD-ROM drive in it running full motion video. And we said, this is a wonderful opportunity to put a presentation in a box for our field salespeople so that they could demonstrate features and benefits of our high-end product.
You want to appear that you're a growth company. You want to appear like you're on the leading edge. You don't want to walk in showing the same old technology, doing the same old handout overhead slides. You want to show that you're at least on the leading edge of everything, and that includes walking in with the presentations.
If you're going to run an Eagle GSC tire on a Corvette at 150 miles an hour, you want to show that in the very best light possible.
The ThinkPad is actually hooked up to an overhead projector, put on essentially the size of almost like a projection screen. And I will run the ThinkPad while the CEO or CFO is given the presentation, so that they are timed correspondingly, so that as he says something, the screen automatically changes in conjunction with what he's saying.
You could do a customized presentation in PowerPoint and have it on your hard drive. Go in and sit down at the desktop of a potential customer that you wanted to talk to. Show him all of the features and benefits of the Goodyear franchise. Show him television commercials. Show him product operating.
We can use the ThinkPad to query data, answer questions from the customer when they ask the question. Pull up information, the graphs, pie charts, bar charts, right on the laptop at our customer's location.
There's an interesting parallel between the technical sophistication of the product that we're using to demonstrate the features and benefits of our product. The ThinkPad, a very highly sophisticated laptop computer with a great deal of processing power, matched with what a lot of people at first blush think is a very, very non-sophisticated product, a tire. Tire is a highly sophisticated composite of rubber and steel and fabrics and so forth. The ability to show those in real life, in video, on a laptop, and not just have to talk about that is a very compelling story for our salespeople.
When we go on the corporate jet and we're flying to our next presentation, the screen is essentially large enough so that if anybody's looking at my presentation while I'm giving it, they don't have any problem seeing what I'm changing on it.
When we go out and visit customers, the perception when we have our ThinkPad and we connect it to our projection system is that you're very professional, you look like you know what you're doing.
With the ThinkPad now, we can just basically make the changes on the fly, and we've had that happen where as I was flying with the CFO to do a presentation in New York, he didn't like the last 2 pages of his presentation. So essentially he started changing that. I pulled the laptop out. We started working on the presentation so that the presentation was completely in sync with his speech.
One of the interesting things that happened when we went to this next generation product with the ThinkPad was that we got a lot of comments back from our people in the field. Boy, you really did it. You really gave us a very quality product that's got some enduring capability to it over the next several years.
I would consider the ThinkPad the Ferrari of the computer industry. It's fast, it responds very well, it does essentially what you want it to do.
Otis Elevator Company is truly an international company. We do business in all countries of the world. Our products, elevators, escalators, traveling walks that you see in airports, freight elevators, passenger elevators, the vertical transportation conveyance business, cover it all. Training is a very expensive endeavor. Classroom training, travel, gathering people throughout the United States, throughout the world is very expensive. We've decided to enter into the world of electronics and do the preponderance of our training by computer-based training. We want to make the quantum leap
between what has been determined to be training of the past to what we have determined the learning organization. And electronics, the new age of this type of attitude is driving that and allows us to do that.
Because we're on the cutting edge, we needed an instrument, that is a ThinkPad, that will allow us to continue to showcase what we've done. To use outdated technology on state-of-the-art elevator equipment shows that we're not staying in line.
It's been very well received. I'm very pleased with it. Technically, it has met our expectations. We were looking for the price performance point, and IBM was very helpful in bringing in the right package for us.
The laptop allows us to convey information from the field, however remote, into headquarters for development. There are many subject matter experts throughout Otis Elevator Company. The best construction superintendent may be in Chicago. The training manager and he can then couple up, develop a course, a construction course, hoisting machines or safety course, transmit that information via laptop through the network to our developers, have he or she adjust it, tweak it, make it look good, send it back and say, what do you think about this? That all happens in real time.
The system is incredibly simple. They're able to use it. Training has gone very, very well, and it's taken a very short time to get them up and running.
The ThinkPads we purchased, we were fortunate to get them before most of the other corporations. And in fact, the fact that we have them sooner has allowed us to be on the cutting edge. And on our sales automation and our training development, it's well known that we're moving forward and not taking a step backwards.
We recognised at British Airways that we needed to do more in the area of providing systems for the sales force and came up with a specification of both applications and mobility, and then looked in the marketplace for the way that we could provide that to the sales organisation.
The Galaxy product that we've put together works on a desktop PC and also on a ThinkPad. So the sales account managers who are out on the road, they're the people that would actually use the ThinkPad, so they can attach to the LAN at home, dial in down their telephone line, get up all the information on the agent they're going to see or the company that they're going to visit.
In talking about Galaxy, we've sometimes used the phrase from briefcase to boardroom, and really that's got two dimensions. One is to make sure that the information at every level of the organisation is consistent, so that the information at board level is exactly the same as our salespeople around the world. And secondly, to really identify the importance of mobility, that people who don't have the information with them don't have the information.
The facility of liaising or hooking up with the server at some point during the day is great because I can work on a mobile basis, and all the work then gets immediately transferred to the server and passed on to whoever it's destined for. As well as that, I can actually get all the data down the line from the monthly updates.
So the system brings together product knowledge, customer knowledge, and market knowledge.
The way it's altered my productivity is because I can start working at my desk in the morning, I can put together a presentation, I can then pick up my ThinkPad, walk to another building within British Airways, attach again to power, and put forward the presentation that I've done that morning.
When I'm using the multimedia, we have our latest advertising campaign on the ThinkPad, and we're able to run that for our customers so they can see exactly what sort of products we're coming up with.
If I was doing a presentation where to people who don't have a ThinkPad, they're very impressed with the technology of the presentation because it is very simple and easy to use. What you can produce is very, very professional.
We need to give our people the information that they need to have the most productive, most valuable discussion with their clients.
As you know, I work for British Airways, and our whole ethos is about customer service and delivering a product that the customer requires. The great thing I see about the ThinkPad is that it has very similar traits to our own business. It delivers exactly what I need. IBM have obviously spent a lot of time researching what the customer actually requires from their ThinkPad, and has delivered it.
And Galaxy is a system which gives the people who work in British Airways sales the information that they need to build the most profitable business that they can. And it really, as I say, it turns our salespeople into business people.
I'd be very unhappy if you took it away from me, because I really like the flexibility that it gives me, that I can choose whether I work at the office or whether I work from home.
As a startup company taking on the public monopoly in telecommunication, it's very important for us to focus on state-of-the-art technology. And in everything we do, we want to have the best, and that's why we go with IBM Thinkpad.
I spend about 50% of my time in my office, and the rest of my time I'm out visiting customers.
Immediately when we launched our service, said we want to beat competition by focusing on being the most sophisticated company with the best and state-of-the-art solutions. So we used IBM Thinkpad almost from day one.
It's very important for me to stay in touch with my customers. For example, when I'm out in my car, I'm able to respond on faxes and on email. When I'm driving, my GSM phone will alert me if I get a fax into my answering machine. Then I can just pull over, start up the PC and download the fax. If it's necessary, I can also respond on that fax when I'm in the car. During a meeting with my customers, it often ends up with a proposal or something they want in written. And I can just print it out on their fax machine and give it to them there and then. Instead of writing it when it comes back to my office, print it, fax it, or even mail it.
In total, almost 50% of our employees have IBM ThinkPads. The majority of those people, which corresponds to 150 people, are traveling people, either in the engineering field force or the sales force. But we also have it for senior managers who can use it at their home office and communicate to the main office on the GSM network.
The most important application I use is my email application. Through this I can get email from my colleagues and also from my customers through X400 or internet mail.
Definitely, and they appreciate it as an easy-to-use tool, and it's a very powerful sales tool as well. So it's not only increases their own productivity, but it helps us sell our core GSM product to our customers.
My ThinkPad is even my lunchbox. Yesterday I was in the park. I had some spare time. I was working and I got hungry. So I started up internet and got onto Pepe's Pizza's homepage, where I found all information about their pizzas. I ordered a good one with olives. I keyed in my credit card information and I ordered the pizza through internet. So after a little while, the pizza guy showed up and I had a wonderful lunch in the park.
Cronkite Ward could not do all of the things we do without this, and I gather that's what you people are interested in, is how we use these computers. I don't know how it would be possible for us to be in business, quite honestly, today, without the laptops and our desktops. We have 54 employees. Nearly all of them seem to have either desktops or laptops or both, in many cases, in the case of our producers, camera people who will be traveling, and they have to be linked together. We've got one of your products, an IBM server, to take care of all of these locations. The old days of television production was really very primitive. We shot film. It had to be transported by airplane in the early days, by piston plane, finally by jet. The film had to be developed at the other end. The cameraman and the producer were entirely out of touch with their offices, and what we were getting back in New York was dated by the time it ever got there. Today's communication won't permit that. If we didn't have our producers overseas connected by our laptops. We couldn't do our work today. Sometimes we dispatch them from New York or Washington or a major production office, as far as it is, overseas, before we even know clearly what that script is going to be that they have to shoot. But by the time they're getting to their location with their laptop, they get back in touch with us at the office, we send the script to them, and they tap into the server, which always has the script of every show we're doing in it, immediately available to the researchers, to the writers, to the producers, to the cameramen, to us executives who are very clearly interested in what is going on down those lower levels. It's an absolute essential to us. In my own case, the beauty of it is, like right here on the boat, I do a lot of writing. I want to keep in touch with the office on financial affairs as well as script development. It's an important device. Oh, and another aspect of it is that obviously on a boat this size, a 48-foot sailboat, I can't carry the Encyclopedia Britannica around with me, but I need it on occasion when I'm writing. I've got to get back into resource material. And with that little CD-ROM disc, now with the CD-ROM capabilities and the new machines, I've got the whole encyclopedia right on the disc or two. I've also got office files in there. I've got the entire financial operation of the company since we founded it 5 years ago. It's in there, and I don't have to go back to the office and disturb them when I want to look up some of those records. I could, by simply going back into that server, do the same thing. But before I ever thought of the server, we were doing the CD-ROM, but that was from my home office. Now I carry it with me right here on the boat. It's a great advantage to all of us. We couldn't do the job really without this stuff. Cronkite Ward could not do all of the things we do without this, and I gather that's what you people are interested in, is how we use these computers.
ThinkPad with the 4X CD-ROM drive in it running full motion video. And we said, this is a wonderful opportunity to put a presentation in a box for our field salespeople.
We want to beat competition by focusing on being the most sophisticated company with the best and state-of-the-art solutions. So we used IBM Thinkpad almost from day one.
The best construction superintendent may be in Chicago. The training manager and he can then couple up via laptop through the network to our developers, develop a course, send it back and say, what do you think about this? That all happens in real time.
If I was doing a presentation where to people who don't have a ThinkPad, they're very impressed with the technology of the presentation because it is very simple and easy to use. What you can produce is very, very professional.
Because we're on the cutting edge, we needed an instrument that is a ThinkPad that will allow us to continue to showcase what we've done.
I would consider the ThinkPad the Ferrari of the computer industry. It's fast, it responds very well, it does essentially what you want it to do.
When I'm using the multimedia, we have our latest advertising campaign on the ThinkPad, and we're able to run that for our customers so they can see exactly what sort of products we're coming up with.
It told me I had to paginate. Quite frankly, I thought I ought to see my minister before I did that.
You really have a winning combination of cost, performance, quality, and reliability. And that's really what we're setting out to do, so that we can deliver to the customer exactly the best combination of these attributes.
Boy, you really did it. You really gave us a very quality product that's got some enduring capability to it over the next several years.